On this episode of Southall Computing, we're going to try to see if we could put in a 8.4 Uconnect multimedia car radio system in our pre-existing 2018 Jeep Compass, and that's coming up next. What's going on, YouTube? Today on this episode, we're going to attempt to put this 8.4 Uconnect multimedia touchscreen radio system into our 2018 Jeep Compass. If you recall from our previous videos, we removed this stock, I want to say it's a 4-inch screen. I don't even remember, to be honest, because it wasn't even in my car long enough. But we removed this stock radio and installed an Eonon 10.1 multimedia navigation radio system into our vehicle. So today the question is whether or not we could get the 4.8 one installed. So a little backstory with this radio here. It was not purchased new. It was basically purchased from a salvage Jeep Compass that was in a wreck. We did look into buying one of these brand new. Unfortunately, Jeep likes to charge $1,000 to $1,500 just for these navigation head units. Just like what we did with our instrument cluster, where we bought it for $100 off of eBay, yet Jeep wanted approximately, I think it was $800 for the instrument cluster. Yeah, again, sorry Jeep, not gonna happen. So we're gonna see what is involved. Now, if you were to buy this unit brand new, it would pretty much not work out of the box. You would have to get something called a proxy alignment. Now the question is, because this came out of a wrecked Jeep, is it actually gonna work straight out of the box, or does this still need a proxy alignment? Now this was the original radio that came with the unit, and as you can see, we have the main connector, we have the antenna connector, and USB connector. So they will definitely match each other when it comes time to plug in. One thing to note, however, there is no satellite or GPS antenna connectors, so if you're looking to use the navigation controls that come with the 4.8 Uconnect system, that's not going to work, unfortunately. You're going to have to get another antenna installed onto your Jeep. Now, if we have a look at the back of this particular unit, the 4.8 Uconnect here, we have a lot more connectors along the top. We have the same connector as we did with the smaller unit, as well as the USB, and then the antenna connector. Another thing to note is this entire backplane is solid steel, basically to act like a heat sink for the unit. So I guess this guy here generates a lot of heat, where the original stock one doesn't do much as far as heat generation that needs to be dissipated. Okay, so for this segment, we're just going to install it and see what happens. I'm curious to see if it'll just communicate, whether or not it even comes up with a screen, or if it does anything at all. We'll put it in. If it works, hey, great. If not, we'll have to stop it here and then go to the dealership and get a proxy alignment. So let the fun begin. Okay, so we're in the car. Here's the 10-inch Eonon head unit that is still working as the lights go off, and basically you'll notice we have these controls down here. It'll definitely work with the 8.4 head unit there, but you have to worry about using your steering wheel controls to get it to function. I actually was able to obtain the other control sets, and we'll show a picture of that later on. Yeah, we're gonna get this removed. I'm just basically gonna do the minimum to get this hooked up just to see if it turns it on, because I'm not gonna keep it in here without a radio until I'm ready to go to my dealership and get the 8.4 Uconnect system proxy aligned. I'm not gonna even bother doing a time lapse here. We'll just pop it out and get the other one in with a couple screws and see what it does. The bezel is pretty simple. It's just got a bunch of clips that are all around the border that you'll just use a pry tool to pop it out real fast. But yeah, getting this display here is the more critical part, because the connector that connects it to the actual head unit itself is very sensitive. If you're not careful, you could actually break it. Alrighty, let me get to work here and let's see what we get. Okay, the bezel and the Eonon's display is removed. I believe these are T25s to remove the 4 bolts on either side. 1 and 2, and 1 and 2 down there. Let's do that. Okay, so again, we did the minimal work here because we don't want to put it all together just to find out that this thing's not going to work. The primary connector's connected, the antenna, as well as USB. Let's power it on and see what happens. Okay, there's a Jeep logo. That's promising. Okay, Uconnect is working. Language change in progress. Interesting. Okay. So certain things are working apparently. Anti-theft code. Oh boy. Well, that's interesting. This is definitely gonna... Okay, so after looking it up, yeah, this is part of the anti-theft technology. Once battery power is lost or whatever, it needs a code and it needs something through a serial number. And honestly, I didn't think this was going to work on the first try, but the good news is the display works, which is nice. And yeah, I'll have to get the serial number and see online if there's, actually not online because I'm going to have to take it to the dealership anyway. Part 1, now we're going to have to do part 2 another time. So let's cut this video right here. All right, here we are on day 2 here of trying this once more. Let's see if the code provided by onlineradios.co.uk, which is not a sponsor of this video, by the way, if it actually works. So let's get this all disassembled once again and on out of here. Let's go. Alrighty, so everything is temporarily hooked up. Let's turn it back on and see if this code provided will actually unlock the unit. Enabled. Climate control on. Holy cow, this is actually going to work. Climate control's off. Again, I'm using the old set of controls down here. Let's see if this radio works. Now I need to use the volume controls here, I believe. Yep. What the heck? Sweet! Cool. All right, so that's actually a success right there. I doubt the map is gonna work. Yeah, that's definitely not right. Because we bought this radio from a salvage yard that was located out in Canada, that would explain these interesting road names. Okay, so the next thing I'm gonna try is, does CarPlay work? So let's give that a shot. Okay, so further success. The Apple CarPlay seems to be working when plugged into the device. So we're actually doing pretty good here. So great, let's button this up and see if the stock bezel works or if we have to order another one. Okay, so now that we've successfully done this, $1 million question is, do we swap out these climate controls for the one that came with this radio? Now, the only benefit to here is we get a power button and a screen off for the radio and volume control on this side here. My only major concern is whether or not the heated seats and steering wheel controls still work primarily off this display. So let's fire this up, this current configuration, and see if that is the case. Ooh, that does not work anymore. Okay, so that is going to be a slight issue. Let's try removing this climate control. Let's see if that actually does anything and then assist this guy for working. Looks pretty simple here. It's 2 clips on the top and another 2 on the bottom here. So let's give this a try. We have the other climate controls wired in. Let's see what happens now. Interesting, these light up. There's Uconnect. Yeah, still not an available option here. Okay. Well, I mean, all things considered, number one, we didn't need an alignment for this sucker to fire right up, which is good. Pretty much, let's see, climate controls, does the power button work? Yep, turned off the screen. That's good. I'm going to hit it again. Very good. Volume control. Oh boy, we got some nice music there. Okay, so yeah, so in the end, it really does need a proxy alignment, but at least, number one, I was able to do this over the weekend. Number two, get the code over the weekend. Okay, so we won't be able to use these climate controls because they don't want to work. So we will definitely have to get an alignment on. The moment I try to select anything and the mode wise, it immediately shuts it off. So, yep, other controls go back in because it is winter time and we need some form of heat in this vehicle. So let's put the old one back. Okay, we got the default one on. Now let's try this again. Yeah, here we go. So it's definitely working now. Will this work now? No. Needs to be programmed in. Interesting. Okay, so yep, realignment is required for the bottom set of controls as well. Not a big deal. I mean, again, the only hiccup here is volume control is going to have to be done on the steering wheel controls here. So there you have it. This is a partial install which needs a minor follow-up to the dealership for final configuration, but for the most part, a successful weekend project getting this Uconnect that was pulled out of a wrecked Jeep Compass to work within another Jeep Compass. Obviously, we needed that special security code that we were able to obtain on a weekend, no less. That cost us about $25. This head unit here cost us about $600 off of eBay. The nice instrument cluster with the display also cost us a little bit of change, about $100, and $60 for a proxy alignment on that as well. So between, let's be fair here. Let's say this was $200, this was $600, $800 there. Proxy alignments at your local dealerships could vary, but at my local dealership, it's about $60. As far as inconvenience, this seemed like a pretty simple swap out, not that big of a deal. Now bear in mind, when you total up everything from Jeep, to get this and that from Jeep, it's gonna cost you, by those two packages alone, about $2 additional $1,000. And we were able to do this well below $1,000. All around, I think at the end of the day here, I did make out with paying a lot less for some premium stuff that honestly should be incorporated in every single car these days. If you like what you see here, of course, give this video a big ol' thumbs up. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. We also have a forum set up. Subscribe to that as well. It will be greatly appreciated. This is Dan from Southpaw Computing, and as always, until the next time.